Bristol Bay is the greatest place on the planet.
It's the greatest conglomeration of rivers, fishery systems in the world as far as I'm concerned. The last best one.
Well, I mean, you know, like here you're out on the river fishing or whatever, and a bear comes and follows you. Wants your fish.
Interesting place to go to, but if you don't watch out, it'll be gone.
If you know Bristol Bay, you love it. If you dream of visiting Bristol Bay, you know, it kind of haunts people, right?
We have this great fishery that is a perfect ecosystem. And why we would want to jeopardize that is beyond me.
We're hunting for the elusive Naknek bonefish. It's native rainbows that are feeding on the smolt migration, and they'll take these nice little poppers, and we're trying to catch those elusive 30 inchers without catching a seagull all the while. Right to your left.
So what Bristol Bay is, obviously it's a big bay in the ocean. But what constitutes Bristol Bay is the influx of freshwater streams, which makes it perfect habitat for salmon to spawn.
Toward Bristol Bay itself, it's flat. Lots of water. You know, I came from Louisiana, same thing, it's flat, lots of water. And then you go from Bristol Bay east and you get into mountains. So it's got everything. It's got mountains, it's got flat land, it's got rivers, ponds, creeks, lakes, everything. And lots of fish. Lots and lots of fish.
The fact that we're still getting record numbers of salmon coming through at this day and age, that's saying something.
You know, as long as we don't take too many of the fish, then we know that they will come back and spawn, and more fish will come. Every year, it's a renewable resource.
I love that tension of like, this is an intact watershed, an intact ecosystem, and it gives us so much. The pebble deposit is right on the saddle between the two largest rivers that flow into Bristol Bay, the Kwijak and the Nushagak. This issue's been on people's radars for a long time. A lot of folks thought it was dead, but I would say it's never been more serious than it is now. It's an all hands on deck situation. Right now, you know, Pebble's plan is to treat and manage water in perpetuity at a level that hasn't been done before.
I mean, they're gonna put these big settling ponds in there. They've got to contain all this slurry that comes out. It's just a dangerous thing to do, and it's just water. It's water everywhere, yeah. And if it gets into the system, it's going to kill it off.
I mean, it all flows down. When you look at it on a map, it all flows from one point, the watersheds, out into Bristol Bay.
And the salmon run through all of that. The salmon drive everything. That's what makes the rivers green. That's what brings all the birds here. That's what brings the bears, the foxes, the wolves. Not to mention the commercial industry and the sport fishing industry, all the lodges, it comes from the salmon. That's the base of the pyramid, and without that, it's just another wasteland.
Whether or not we can stop the proposed pebble mine, I think is a defining issue for the future of wild salmon. I feel like we're writing the end chapters to the wild salmon story, and we know if pebble goes in, like what the end of that story looks like, and it doesn't look bright.
Salmon, other than our children, are our most precious resource because it's fed families for generations in our state. And it not only feeds people, but it feeds the whole entire ecosystem. My feeling is that we know what the science is. We know what will happen. So why are we even having this discussion?
To destroy everything to get it doesn't work, and it never has worked. I don't know. I still kind of believe that good always wins eventually if you're tough enough to wait it out, and you just got to be tough.
10 years ago when I started working on this, everybody thought that pebble was a sure thing, that there would be a hole in the ground. And we have taken it from a sure thing to a mine proposal that is struggling. And the reason for that, I think it's the passion and the grit and the determination of the local people. And then I think it's also the widespread opposition across groups that typically don't get along. Regardless of what your criteria is, if it's you care about salmon, you don't want the pebble mine. If you care about jobs, you shouldn't want the pebble mine. If you care about the Alaskan economy, you shouldn't want the pebble mine. If you care about 30-inch rainbows, you shouldn't want the pebble mine. If the only thing it really comes down to, you want to make a decision to support a Canadian-owned mining company that has never developed a mine before? Do you want to go down in history as destroying the world's greatest run of wild salmon, or do you want to go down for making sure it's around?
Where the bugs, Scopey? That hippie bug spray doesn't really seem to be helping me out much.